Hello again, Rebecca here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Mixed Media Frenzy. Here's today's scrap lift. Beautiful. I don't do a rainbow. I'm going to pull in the pebble, the canary, and the candy apple from close to my heart because I'm doing another page in my son's 8x8 graduation album and it's almost complete. So I'm super excited about that. Off screen, I do go ahead and gesso that page up, and I'm going to cut it down to an 8x8 size square. If you see to the right, I do have a couple pictures of my kid opening presents, so I did trim those down off screen, and I'm going to back them. I did make them a lot smaller because there's a lot of background white noise all around him, just my flowers and, the porch. So I'm going to trim those up, but because it's 8x8, got to make them a little bit smaller, but I didn't actually lose anything in the photo by trimming them from a 4x6 down to, and I believe they're like 2x3s. I do go ahead and get into my stamp stash, which I've been using my stash stuff a lot lately, like my tools and my stamps and my inks, and I'm loving it. And I found this stamp set, which FYI has never been used, and I've probably owned it for 6-7 years. But since there was those like little arrows in the sketch or in the lift, in the scrap lift, I thought this worked perfectly. So I'm gonna go ahead and just stamp these guys down. Now I do have my Firefly stamp chamois there just to make sure that I can clean my stamp off in between. And I'm kind of judging now. I know that they're supposed to go, I think like almost centered with each other, or, but I make them offset because I don't have a lot of room on an 8x8. So I get the candy apple ink down, and then I just, while it's still wet because it's on the gesso, so it doesn't soak in right away, I just dip my paintbrush into my water cup there and make a big old mess. Now, I believe that this is probably, and I don't know what the sketch is, but Missy Witten does this technique a lot, so this is probably a Missy lift that we are doing. But yeah, I love it. So I kind of leave some areas where you can tell that it was stamped and others where it's like, nope. So I watered down that red so much that it does kind of look orange, but I like it. I'm okay with it. I do come in with the canary next, and I did get it just a little bit too close, but I make it work. My page is like curling from the gesso, and I'm trying to stamp, right? So I had let the red dry completely, so it doesn't even start reacting again with the water. Like, it's dry. And I just stamp until I'm happy with it. And I'm like lining it up through the stamp. And if I don't line it up perfectly straight, that's where you'll see I make the watermark, right? And I just go in and I get it real big and real messy. And it starts to fade like a lot. So I kind of don't do as much of the water as I did on the red. So then I pull in the pebble. And as soon as I stamped it, I started thinking, oh, this is a really light color. Like, this is not what I was thinking. But I'm like, nope, keep going with it. Like, pretend you know what you're doing. You're on camera. Pretend you know what you're doing. Just playing, guys. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I'm winging it mostly, all right? So I keep going, and I'm like, well, if it doesn't work out, I can always come back and do something else, right? So I'm going to make sure I clean my stamp up because that's the last one I'm going to do. And then I always, I use my paintbrushes for a lot of different things. And I clean them, but sometimes the bristles are a little hard. So I always flick it with my finger once just to break the bristles up. But the more that I use the water on this, I'm like, oh, it's getting lighter. I'm like, you're not even going to be able to see it, right? But it's dry and you can see it. So it does look like it has shimmers in it, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys. It doesn't. I hadn't cleaned my water out, and I had used shimmers before that. So there's a little tinge of some shimmery goodness on this page. I do just take each one of the stamp pads and just smush it down onto my mixed media mat there, and then do some splatty bits around the page. Just because it looked good and that was what was on the lift. And the more I look at it, I'm like, you know, I like the shimmery now. I like that. So I want to make that work. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out my lemonade and my red close to my heart shimmer brushes, and then my silver Wink Stella. And the red worked really well, guys. Like, the other two colors were very light, but I think that my red one is just juicier. So I do come in and just clean everything up, and I'm just using that stamp chamois, and that sucker cleans up everything really nicely. So I just mix it up and then squeeze just a little bit onto the mixed media mat, and I'm just going to darken up a few of the areas, okay, where I feel like it just needs a little bit more. I do some splatties just to get the splatties around because the red splatters were like overpowering everything. But I just come in and I'm just going to use all of this up. That was my goal. And then I'm going to splatter some more. And then we clean that little bit up. And I come in with the yellow. And the close to my heart shimmer brushes, you guys. Like, I'm a close to my heart representative. But they are so shimmery. Like, I love those things. Like, they're the most shimmery product that I own, and they're like fully saturated with color. Like, they are awesome. So I guess it's a good thing that I am a close to my heart representative so I can get the discount, because I'm going to run out of these things because I don't use them the way they're intended. I use them like this. Same thing, splatter some yellow around and just deepen the yellow color. But because I had done that to the gray, to the pebble and the canary, yeah, I had to do it to the red too. And so I just go into those places where it kind of turned a little bit orange and just make them red and shimmery. And I'm just trying to not waste any of that mixed media. So I'm trying to soak it all up. There you go. I get it all. And it is completely dry. And I really love this. Like, there's nothing else in this layout, in this album, that resembles this layout. While I'm getting all these pictures down, I do want to remind you that today is a hop for my mixed media frenzy. All my friends that play along every Friday, I will have them listed down below. So when you're done watching my video, don't forget to hop on over to their channel and leave them some nice, kind comments and give them some love and likes. Lost my train of thought, guys. I'm really sorry. I was thinking about the nice, kind comments. Anyway, I do take these little silver stars, and I'm going to sprinkle those around the page as well. Those are just something that I had in my kit, which was I had put a kit together, things that I had been purchasing for like a year or more up to Samuel graduating. Like, when I know something's coming, I will pick things up a little at a time as I see it and like it. And I mean, obviously I knew the kid was going to graduate high school one day. Wasn't really sure when. I mean, he could have like did the 5-year plan or something, but he didn't. He went for the correct amount of time and graduated with honors. But so I've got like all these things. So a lot of these things I do not know where they came from. It's just been in a kit that I've saved, and then I've got it all out and I've worked on it to create the album for his graduation ceremony and his graduation party. If you've seen there, then I took a couple pieces of the star wood veneer and I get those put on there as well. I do have all these graduation cap brads that I had bought at a scrapbook expose-ish at the convention center right before the pandemic hit in 2020. So this is like the last time that I went out was when I bought these graduation caps. And I overload this page with graduation cap brads because, yeah, when my fiance's daughter graduates, she won't be wearing a black robe, I think. I'm not real sure. Like, I know, like, when I graduated, like, the boys wore one color and the girls wore the other color. However, my son, they all wore black, and they were only just the difference was the sashes that they had and the medals and stuff like that. So, like, my son had he had different stuff than other people, but, yeah, so I don't know if she'll have a black graduation cap or not. I know he did. So I'm trying to like use it up, and I only have a couple more pages to create after this one. So I'm like, get it done, right? So I ended up with 2 left, and I'm like, I can deal with that. I come in with my washi tape and just seal the back of that because you don't want naked brads, right? Those tines will scratch up and probably poke through the rest of the other layouts. My video is quickly coming to an end. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Click that subscribe button below, and don't forget to go check out my other friends. I'll see you guys tomorrow.